Okay, guys, I'm so excited. One of my dear friends is here. You might recognize Ella. She is a Sports Illustrated model, self-proclaimed CEO of Motherfucking Confidence.
Yay! Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh my gosh. Well, I feel like this whole like kind of curvier body is really in right now. Like actually I was saying to my managers, I was like, maybe I should try for Sports Illustrated. And she was like, Aurora, no offense or anything, but like you like right now they're looking for like Remy Baders and like more of the like full body, and which is for me, like I've always kind of been like a skinny bitch my whole life. It's just like, well, no matter what, which is fine. But like right now, that's not the thing. That's not in. What would you say though to this kind of like underground? These voices are coming up and they're making themselves heard, saying that it's irresponsible to be promoting bodies that aren't healthy. Like, do you think like a full size body is necessarily not healthy? And do you think that you're part of that movement?
Wow, yeah. Aurora is jumping right in.
She's jumping right in, straight to it. It's hard to say because I mean, like I'm in this space where I'm like confident and I love my body, and it's like so little to do with the actual size of it. So
you look healthy too.
Thank you.
Yes. You're not like you're not panting. You're not out of breath. You don't look like I don't know. You know, I mean,
what some might say is
right.
Yeah.
What some might say is unhealthy. I feel like. And it's interesting because it's like health. I always preach like health has like different looks and sizes and whatever to it. And it's like, I mean, it's hard to judge like health necessarily. I feel like looking at it, but obviously like in a standard wise, like I feel like I'm in this space, but I always get categorized like in a box. I'm like, I never wanted to be in a box. So it's like, oh, so because you're curvy, you're like body positive, and then you're this, and then you're a fat activist, and you're that. I'm like, wait, what? I never signed up to be like any of these things. I'm just like confident in my skin, and I happen to be a size 14. I feel like I've always been an athlete my whole life. I work out all the time. I have a trainer. I do like Pilates. So it's like, for me, I love working out. It helps my mental health. It helps me feel good and toned and strong. But yeah, I would say I'm an overall like very healthy person. And I feel like that isn't even really categorized by my size.
Yeah, you're not like, you know, you've seen, I know Sports Illustrated has recently put people on their, who was recently on their cover, and who was the guy?
Yumi. Is that her name? Yumi?
Yeah, Yumi.
Yes, she was on the cover, and Jordan Peterson was the one who has a huge following as well, saying that this is unhealthy to put someone on this, and it's kind of fake compassion. And so that's my fear with, we'll say, curve models. I know it's like not cool to put curve in front of model. A model's a model. But right. you're like, he said that you're exploiting these women. You're exploiting these women. They're being used for fake compassion. So I thought that was an interesting point, because we as women are so insecure. We do think about, like, I look back at my skinniest pictures and I thought, oh my God, I need to lose 5 more pounds.
Right.
Which is something we do as women.
Right.
But it is an interesting argument.
It's an interesting argument, but I do like what you're saying here about like what your size is, you know, doesn't necessarily mean health or not health. Like maybe you're healthy as a size 14. Like you have great hair, you know, you have great skin. Like you're taking care of yourself.
Totally.
And I think also, and I spoke to this once on my Instagram too, there was a time when it was like right after my divorce, I was not eating a lot. I was super not healthy. And I posted a picture in a bikini. I was at a bachelorette, and I got so many comments of people being like, wow, Aurora, like you look fantastic. You look amazing.
Right.
I can't believe, like, what have you been doing? And it's like, depression and anxiety. And it's like, sometimes when you look like on paper a certain way,
supposedly healthy.
Yeah. It's like, that's actually the time in your life when you're, when you're the least healthy. So I do believe it's like finding what you know to be healthy for you.
Right.
But that doesn't take away from, perhaps is it irresponsible to be showing this curvy, not even curvy. Some of these women are obese.
Yes.
And the thing is, we're living in a time where obesity is at its highest that it's ever been, and there's, you know, hundreds of related diseases causing to death linked to obesity. So, like, I don't know. It's one of those questions of like, how do you promote health at all sizes while not kind of glorifying obesity?
Totally. And I think that there is like a fine line of like finding what works for you, like what you said, like, you know, your health is different than my health. My best self is way different than your guys' best self. And that will always be the case for everyone. And I like stand by that. I think from the outside looking in, like a stereotypical like health standard or society standards is like, this is what health is and this is what's not. And I really don't think it's black and white at all. Like it can be so gray, and it is, and it's very individual to you. I think that when I was my smallest or smaller in high school or in middle school, I mean, like, because I gained weight probably after high school, it was just like, I wasn't healthy. My thoughts weren't healthy. Food was running my mind. I would skip meals. I would look at my stomach every time I walked past a mirror, and if it wasn't flatter, I would fucking work out harder. Like,
Crazy.
I was so unhealthy in the mind. I was not nourishing my body. I was binging, because then I would like not eat certain things during the day because my family was hard on me. And then like when I would be like at sleepovers or have like nights to go out with my friends, I would binge because I didn't get to eat those foods at home.
Binging is real.
So it's real. And it's
associated with guilt too.
Totally. So it's like, I do feel like my healthiest, happiest now. Like, is there always room to improve? I think with everyone there is. Like, I'm always looking to be a better me than I was yesterday, and that's always going to be the case. But and yeah, I know what you're saying with that, you know, conversation, and that's definitely like a loaded conversation with so many different perspectives and like outlooks that you can take. But I think for me, at least, I can speak to what I'm promoting, and it's always being like the best you and being healthy and happy in who you are, whatever size that is.
And what I love that you said is that to you, health is being confident, and I couldn't agree more. Like, it is an internal feeling, and your mind and your body and soul are 1,000% connected, like you said. And I've had moments where, and like you were saying, Aurora, we might have appeared to be so skinny, appeared to be this, but we were actually so depressed and had counting calories, all the things. And I think many a women at some point go through that in their lives. So this is also kind of a loaded question. I get this, so I can't imagine how many times you get this, because I think this is such a journey. It's probably in your DMs all the time. How do I become confident like you? How does one become so confident?
Are you asking like that question? Like,
yeah,
how would you?
I get it all the time, so I can't imagine.
Like, what's your formula?
Journey?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's just like years and years and years of work, and it's like years of rewiring my thoughts and rewiring what I focus on. I think our whole life, skinny's always been linked to happiness, and I just don't link the two. And I think for so long, I always thought that once I did that, I can go on the vacation. Once I did that, I can wear that shirt. Once I do that, I can get a boyfriend. And that is so toxic in itself.
Yeah.
So it's relearning all of that. I think so many affirmations every day, being your biggest cheerleader. Like, I never had a long relationship, like a long-term boyfriend or anyone, to really always be there and support me and fill my cup up and compliment me and validate me. And so it's like, I've always had to lean on me. And if anything, I'm hyper independent, which can also be another problem that you can dive in as another conversation. But it's like, I have always relied on me for that. So it's like, now I have to be confident. I have to show up every day. I have to pay my bills. Like, it's me. It's always been just me betting on me and me focused on me, because I haven't had that necessarily. I think I was so tired of being tired. I was tired of feeling insecure. I was tired of not living my best life. I was tired of being held back mentally and physically. Like, I just didn't want to live that way anymore. Yeah. So it was kind of like a breaking point when you wake up, when you're like, I'm done feeling this way. Like, I want to be happy. Like, I want to be confident and wear that bikini, which I never thought ever in my life I would ever post in a bikini. And it's like hilarious. I'm like a swimsuit
That's
model.
like your job.
Like, it's like my job. And I'm like, I could not even, like, I would literally take photos in middle school and make all my friends delete it after if I was in it. Like, I hated photos of me. And I've like never really shared that.
I think it's like such a beautiful, it's almost like a love story with yourself, where you kind of one day are just like, wait, why am I not letting myself feel all of these feelings that I want to feel, confident and beautiful and sexy? Because someone else is telling me that I'm not allowed to because I'm not a size 2, or like society's telling you that, and you kind of just made the decision to, like, you know what, I'm going to feel happy and do the things that make me happy, because at the end of the day, I only have myself. Totally. And I do think there's something like that, like pretty girl syndrome, skinny girl syndrome. Not that pretty and skinny are one and the same, but like, if you're one of those girls who's kind of always relied on the attention of other people, and like, I'm not gonna lie, like growing up from a young age, like I was the one who had like boobs when I was 14 and like was getting attention from the guys. And if you've been listening for a while, you know my story with like my slutty phase in high school. But it's like, I feel like I have kind of always been like, oh, I need like a guy to like validate my confidence, or somebody to like, and now with social media, it's like you want to get those likes because it's like that instant dopamine rush. So it's like the work that you've put into like being that advocate for yourself, or being your own like hype woman, is like, that's something that you can sustain. Like when I worry about the days sometimes when like my hair goes all gray and like I'm old and wrinkly and stuff, and it's like, you know, I don't get that special attention at the car dealer that like I kind of rely on, you know? It's like as women we use the cards that we're dealt, and when you look a certain way, sometimes it's like you play the fucking cards.
For sure. And I think also to that point though, when you rely just purely on your looks though, that is a reflection of your confidence, because if you are so confident, you don't need that validation from likes or from other people.
Right.
You find it within yourself, and it sounds like that's what you do such a great job of.
Totally. I feel like, and that's why I say I'm the most confident now at my biggest self than I've ever been, because it has little to do with my body and looks. Like,
or what other people think. Because you get haters.
Like, totally, all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like, I feel like you have to find it within. So I started to like really tap within myself, like into all my insecurities, all the things I didn't like about myself, my flaws, the way I treated people. And like, I really was like a shift 180. Like, I feel like I found so much more confidence in being a kinder person. How do you treat others? Like, what are your morals and values? Like, what's your faith? Like, that's what I would focus on. Right. And then that light like shined from within to then out. Like,
and after, so it sounds like you had a come to Jesus moment, like whether it was like like at what point does someone look at themselves in the mirror like you did? Did it take a low? Did it take a certain feeling to be like, I gotta change this shit?
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. It's like, it's so weird to like even correlate the two, but I've had family members struggle with drug addiction, and it's interesting because it's like you have to hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
And so it's nowhere near confidence, obviously, but it's like I had to hit a rock bottom.
And was that in a mental state of feeling of rock bottom?
It was so mentally draining. Like every day when you focus on your looks, that shit is exhausting. Like, we are tired. Like, women are fucking tired. And every day there's a new article that comes out, and heroin chic is in, and now everyone's on Ozempic. It's like,
everybody's on Ozempic.
And that's what fucks with our minds. And it's so sad because now I feel like I've built that strong foundation of confidence where it can't shake me. But it's like, this shit's not easy. Like, society doesn't make it easy for us women to even exist in this world, let alone like fucking feel confident. And it's like, you're always being pinned as like, oh, she's looking bigger, or like, I mean, all the tabloids, just like how they make fun of everyone. You can't wear anything without being, oh God, she let herself go. It's like, what the fuck?
It's so funny too. It's not funny actually at all, because rarely ever will you see a tabloid or news article online, so-and-so as a man has gained weight, or he's looking older. It's like, wow, he's a fine wine. Dad bods are in.
That's what's annoying.
It's so annoying.
So I recently started going on dating apps after my divorce, and like I was talking to this one guy, and he was talking about how he really wants a feminine woman. He doesn't like, the best part of women is that they're not masculine, and just talking about like the role that he thinks a woman like that like stay-at-home women should be that stay-at-home. His point was that stay-at-home moms should get like a better rap from society. Yes, okay. So he wants like a wife who's gonna like stay at home and have the babies and like fall right into that domesticated feminine role, which is fine. But then he also wants a fucking hot girl who's like doesn't have saggy tits, who's also like making her own money and independent, but doesn't want her to be masculine. It's like, how do you reconcile like all like they want men want a woman who is who doesn't exist. Like, you can't
like
be
perfection. It literally does not exist.
Okay, you want me to breastfeed my kids for 2 years and all that, but you don't want me to have saggy tits? Like, how that doesn't
the math
happen.
Isn't mathing.
The math is not mathing. And
no,
like,
literally,
you want us to be happy all the time and like just love the role of like
be
staying
so feminine,
home,
but like don't rely on them for money. But then don't make too much because then it's intimidating.
Yeah.
But then look this, but don't look like that. Play the part. Don't play. It's like what
have
the
a
fuck?
passion, but like it can't like be making more money than I make.
Right.
And then you
God
need to.
forbid.
And I told him, and I know that this turned him off, because I was like, when I was home with my kids, like I didn't love it. Like I thought I would, and I changed my mind. So I went and like focused on my career, and I got a nanny for my kids during the day because it was the most like painfully boring yet like monotonous and hectic experience.
Totally.
I didn't like it, and for me, like I felt shame around that because like that almost means that you're like anti-feminine.
Yeah, you're not a good mom.
You're not a good mom.
Yeah.
It's like I want to be. I am a little masculine. Like I want to be a little bit of everything. Like why can't we just like be what the fuck we want? I don't get it.
And I feel like the society standards are constantly changing, whether it's in or outside of the home, or even physically, because
Totally.
a couple years ago, it was all about the BBLs. It was all
Now
about
they're
being
all
extra.
removed.
It was
Yeah.
all curves, all big tits, all fat ass,
Right.
real or not real. Now, like you said, heroin chic is in. Everyone's
Right.
on this fucking
Everyone's
Ozempic.
taking
Is that
that.
And if you notice,
Yeah.
it happened the same time that the high-waisted jeans went out and the low-waisted
Yeah.
jeans came in.
Yeah.
Everyone's
But
like,
it's like
shit.
you can't constantly
Literally.
keep. So then you get skinny because you're keeping up with this trend, and then there's a new trend.
That's
it's like we
why-
can't keep up.
No, and that's why I always say, like, never let your body be a trend. Like, don't.
Oh, I love
even-
that.
Don't let your body be a trend. Like, just don't.
I
Like,
love that.
it's so easy to fall into it, and it's like you will never win. I always say it. You're either too skinny, you're this, you're too tall, you're too short, you're too big. Well, you could have skinner arms, and you could do that. It's like you will literally never win. So stop trying to win and just be you and be happy. And I like literally swear by that.